and this is the Bridge 99 FM, and this is the Public Eye. Hi, hello, I'm Ronald Thwaites. With me is the Honourable Pearnel Charles. We're going to tell you the truth about things in the nation. We're going to make sure that we are engaging you in full discussion. You can call us. The studio line is 876-676-4996, and the WhatsApp line is 876-551-5782. Coming up in the program, Educate Jamaica. We make no apologies. Education is a way out of poverty. Education is the elixir for development. And therefore, on education today, we're looking at the Bring Your Own Device, Own Your Own Device program. And Nadine Sims, who is the Assistant Chief Education Officer in the Media Services Unit, will join us, as will Mr. Seymour Rhoden, who is the Project Manager for the Own Your Own Device initiative. That is where you have your own tablet, your own laptop, your own device of any sort where you can take in the lessons. Does that work? How many have it? What am I doing with it? Yes, they use it right? Is it a way that is a good substitute for face-to-face learning? How are we going to blend the use of that when we go back to school, as the Prime Minister says we will after midterm? Big questions on Educate Jamaica. Listen up, parents. Listen up, diaspora people who take your money and send home and fill the barrel, philanthropists who offer the tablets and other instruments to Jamaican schools. Thank you. Thank you very much. But we want to find out how well it is going to be used. And later on, in our Global Connection Hour with Irie Jam and Beau-regard in New York, we welcome, boy, this is a big one for Mr. Charles, the President of the Union of Clerical, Administrative and Supervisory Employees in Jamaica, UCASE. The Venerable Vincent Morrison will speak to us regarding the increase in the minimum wage and one big complaint of his, the increase in short-term contracts of employment, which leave workers vulnerable. Plenty coming up with your calls. Mr. Charles, sir, good afternoon and welcome again.
Well, good afternoon and
thank you for sharing.
Maybe we are together too often, and we have to be careful. They're going to say we are one.
Well, what a good thing that would be. This morning, remember, we had an enlightening discussion with author and researcher and leadership achievement Dr. Ransford Davidson of Jamaica National. And you and he struck a chord.
And somebody said something to me.
Yeah.
Who would listen to the program?
Yeah.
Did I read his book? I said, well, not yet. She said, but you were quoting from a lot of what he wrote.
Really? Well?
I said, well, that's good. That means either I am smart or he...
Great minds think alike. I think he touched on something which has a deeper issue which we're going to have to talk about. It's how do you craft leaders? How do you forge them? Where do they come from? What are their basic characteristics?
Yes.
Because you have always made the point that industrial peace and productivity, that big word that we're never going to take out of capital letters, it's so significant.
That is correct.
It is brokered by leadership. Leadership in, whether it's at the business level, the shop floor level, the church level, the national level. And we have to ask ourselves, what makes one person so good a leader and another person, perhaps with equal number of degrees or behind their name, they're hopeless in that regard? Is it character?
It's not all of us are destined to be leaders, you know.
Yeah.
The majority of us are destined to follow the leader. If you look down the line from Jacob and others, don't care whether they move you or not.
Yeah.
If you are to lead, it's going whether you go in the lion's den or you are sold in prison, you're destined to lead. If you are Moses and you're put away in a basket and somebody find you, you're hidden.
Destiny.
In other words, I believe, although my mother warned me about destiny, that you create your own destiny. I think that you follow something. If you hear that your father was this or your mother was this,
okay.
I think many of our children follow. You have a child who is an attorney, right?
Several.
Mm-hmm. And the fact is, it's probably if you were a doctor, they might
have gone there.
Yes. So they have objectives.
Yes.
I think that because my wife is in the medical field.
Some of your children followed that.
Four, 5 of them.
Look at that. No, sir. But the key thing is, what are the characteristics of leadership that people like Dr. Davidson told us about? It first of all, it's competence in your particular field.
Yes.
It is a disposition of respect and engagement with those who you have leadership over. Right. He himself, when we saw him on our television monitor, appeared to be a person of kindness, of warmth, of firmness, but not arrogance, not arbitrariness, not disrespectful. Can we teach those qualities?
No, what you just said something a while ago. If you just review all that you have just said,
right,
and I will call one name that is supposed to have that quality before.
Right.
Parentage.
Okay.
In other words, fathers and mothers must decide the direction in which the children are going to go. If your father is a man who drink rum and sit in the dining room and call his 9-year-old boy, boy, go throw some rum at the bottle, bring 2 shots. I think coming through the thing, taste it.
Of course.
Light a cigarette, bring come. I have to draw it in my mouth.
Yeah.
And he, from that age, is going to drink rum, is going to smoke.
So if you have a father or a parent who is a womanizer or a manizer, the likelihood is you're going to follow them.
Well, if I don't know why you're looking at me right now.
I'm not looking at you. Mea culpa, maxima culpa.
No. The truth is that it depends on the communication.
Sure.
What you communicate.
Right.
And remember, communication is not only talking,
No, behaving.
It's action.
Yes.
And it's what they hear.
So I want us to be able to convey to our listeners, and for them to convey to us if they wish. How is it that you cultivate these qualities of leadership? Dr. Davidson this morning struck me as somebody who just wasn't born with it, but he might have been born with certain aspects of it, but that he has learned behavior, it's practiced behavior. And it strikes me that if leadership is so important, as you and Vin Morrison will tell me later, and as we know in every aspect of life, whether it's the leadership of a parent or the leadership of a prime minister.
Well, I told you about the lady in St. Thomas. She couldn't read. She have 2 daughters, and there was no father around.
Leadership.
And she decided that fair girl them come like she. And she sit down with a bottle lamp every night. And she said, read, let me hear. And I said, well, she said, read, let me hear. She can't read. But if you make a mistake, she said, call that word again. It don't sound right.
No, but
and I don't want to know every day. I don't want to come like me. I don't want to come like me. I want to come like teachers and doctors. And she drive that in their heads.
So what are the qualifications? You've painted a picture. First of all, she's not interested so much in herself as she's interested in others. Okay?
She's interested in their future.
Got you. She shows firmness. She doesn't allow slackness. Yes. They must sit down and do them lesson. She shows ingenuity, because if the moon no bright and the stars no shine, the buckle lamp is what she have, and they must use that.
And Ronnie, she knows what she has lost by not able to read and write.
Quite so.
And she's able to say to them, me no want you come like me.
Okay, so
me want you come like Mr. X and Mr. X picnic them. So read, let me hear.
No, so therefore she's focused, and she's, despite being very firm, she's also extremely kind and well-intentioned.
Yes, because she's warm.
Okay, but these are the characteristics that we need to breed. Let me use that word in all of our people, Pearnel Charles.
It's not a one-way street, Ronnie. It's not a one-way street.
What do you mean?
All right, listen to what I mean. You have 2 children, and one decides rubbish you're talking.
Esau and Jacob.
Well, the answer is simple there, right? It's not and it comes back to how warm you can communicate to your children, or how you can communicate that warmth to them, that yearning to them, that they want to do what you are saying to them. Now, if you start to curse them, go on, what's this and this, and now come to nothing.
But look at this now. Here's Mr. Charles doing exactly what we need to do and convey to our people that are listening. One, if your attitude is one of cuss out and arrogance of desperation, it's not leadership. It may be loud noise, but it's not leadership.
No.
If you dress up,
it's not even good loud noise.
All right, gotcha, sir. If your behavior is Lego-based behavior, what you're doing is not only disgracing yourself, but you're spoiling your children. Don't.
You are required to assist your children.
Indeed.
And that is why the older generation decide that you're not ready for picnic yet.
Well,
you're not ready for your children yet.
Well,
you're not ready to communicate to them.
So when the Republican Party, for example, in America, of which I have been very critical, you have supported my criticism in some respects earlier, when they come out with their hopes for the future of America now, they're preparing for the midterm elections, and they speak about the sanctity of the family. They speak about the inviolability of family relations. Yes, as much as I decry Trumpism, I support what they are saying there. And those people who begin to criticize them on the far left Democratic side, and people have the right to choose, and you can choose which way you want. If you want to live with he or she or it, it's your choice, or a serial relation. That sounds like freedom, but what it is destruction.
But Ronnie, you don't have to go to America,
No.
You can go right downtown.
Yes, sir.
Right in this country.
You don't have to go downtown. You go uptown, you see worse than that. Yes.
Right. It's all over the place. And if you listen to some of the parties that downtown children are not involved in, you're wondering if that perception that we have of children downtown not having that leadership, if they have what we're listening to of what should be uptown family, engage in training,
So after after Educate Jamaica today, our part of it, we will talk about how we communicate these standards, who defines, and how do you propose this, and where does leadership emerge from that? This is the Public Eye on the Bridge 99. We go straight into it, or we take a break? Okay, soon come. Thanks very much. This is Educate Jamaica, a unique program on the Public Eye on the Bridge 99. Hello, Ms. Sims. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. And
thank you for joining us, the Assistant Chief Education Officer in the Media Services Unit of the Ministry of Education, Ms. Nadine Sims. And hello, Mr. Rhoden. Is he there?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. May I introduce you both to the Honorable Pearnel Charles, who co-hosts this program?
Good afternoon, Mr. Charles.
Sir.
Yes, and I want to refer to both of you as the architect of discipline, education, profession. You have chosen a profession where teachers taught or teachers. If there were no teacher, there could be no teacher. And the profession in the world that teaches everybody is a teacher.
Don't get swell-headed now, you know.
The greatest profession in the world.
He's right, and I share that with him. Tell me about this Own Your Own device. Ms. Sims, is this a good idea? How is it going to work? I come up with so many picnics who have a device and it's blue movies they're watching rather than taking lessons. Isn't that the danger?
There are dangers with technology, sir, but there are also good things, great opportunities.
Yes.
All right. So just to say, to provide some context and background, the JTA, as a part of the Heads of Agreement, agreement with the government of Jamaica, all right, they initially provided tablets to our teachers. Right. But, with the pandemic and all, the teachers thought that based on what is now being demanded, because, we're having a blended approach, we needed to provide laptops. And so we partnered with e-learning, with the Own Your Own device, to provide our teachers with resources to enable and empower them to manage this new and emerging blended approach to teaching and learning.
So do all our teachers have laptops now, ma'am?
Yeah, well, most of our teachers have laptops, and
good.
This program will ensure that all our teachers, the target is that by June 2024, all our teachers in public schools,
right,
that is the public primary and secondary school, will receive a laptop.
Excellent. That's very good. That's very good. And this is just at the right time.
Yeah, but Ronnie, we have a problem there.
What's that?
If we are giving all our children
teachers,
if we are giving all our children tablets, how are we going to operate if our teachers don't have?
Exactly, and therefore I support this.
I think that the teachers should have.
Yeah.
How do you communicate to a child how to use a tablet?
Sure.
Why not to go this
way
don't know if you don't have one?
What's the modality, Mr. Rhoden? How is it going to work? Are there set amounts that are going to be available? Is there a single type of laptop that's going to be issued? And how does it relate to the tablets which the teachers had before? Will those be recollected, or they just stay with the person?
So first part of your question, the teachers will receive a voucher via email. So the information from the teachers is entered into a back office system, and then that system is used to disseminate the vouchers to them. They get both an email notification and a text notification that the voucher has been sent.
Yes.
So once the teacher is in receipt, they can visit the approved vendor locations. And right now we have over 100 participating vendor locations on the OYOD program, where teachers can visit to redeem their vouchers.
Okay. And that's a 40,000 voucher, is it? Is that the figure?
No. So for teachers for this year, it's going to be 9,000 vouchers approximately that will be issued. And these vouchers are valued at $90,000 for laptops.
90 each?
Right, 90 each.
Whoa, that's good. That's very good. They ought to be able to get a reasonable quality laptop for that, eh?
Yes, confirm. They will, Mr. Thwaites. And so the devices, so we have a minimum device specification that is in place. So the teachers, when they visit these vendors, the vendors would know the devices that meet the program requirement. And just to give a snapshot of what that looks like, so we're referencing now a device that has a 256 gigabit solid state drive, 4 gig memory, and it's either an Intel i3 processor or AMD Ryzen 3 processor. And then there's an option tool that either gives them a 500 gig hard drive with 8 gig memory, and the processor is from the Intel i5 core or the AMD Ryzen 5 lines. So at either end, they're going to be able to get a device that is able to perform and handle the load. We do know it gets frustrating when you are using a computer and it is not keeping up with the task.
Right. Now, there are about 25 or 27,000 public sector teachers in Jamaica. So if we multiply that number by the 90,000, this is a very expensive project, isn't it?
Yes, that is correct. It is
over 3 years.
That's correct.
But Pearnel, I wonder if you understand the specifications of the computer of the laptops any more than I do. But well, it sounds good.
It sounds like I understand just about the amount you do. But I've been using it, you know.
Yeah.
The point is, I have an Apple, and my daughter have 2 versions above mine.
Yeah.
And I don't see any difference.
Yeah.
No, the point I'm going at, if you said to somebody, there are a number of people who have changed their laptops simply because the year have changed.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it's second hand. But not necessarily. Maybe the company has a lot of those last year that weren't sold out. You know, and
I see you increase the availability. But the teachers want to use this to get a new one, and I can understand that. It's part of their agreement. Ms. Sims, what about the training of teachers to use these implements? Is that factored into the arrangement somehow?
Yes, it is factored in. That is done in collaboration with eLearning Jamaica. And just to say, an important point is that the care of the laptops and other devices is also very, very important.
Oh, Lord,
because
yes.
if you really don't know how to care it, we will not get the optimum use.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
And you spoke earlier, and I just wanted to add that the distribution will be done in batches.
Yes.
So between January and March of this year, we targeted the grades 4 to 6 in our public primary schools, those
Yeah.
teachers who are permanently employed, and to include special education and multigrade as well. And for the second batch, we are targeting grades 1 to 3.
Yeah.
So we're first focusing at the primary level,
Yes.
and then for the next 3 and 4 phases, we will move to our infant and secondary schools.
Yes.
And we're asking the teachers, please, to check
Right.
their ministry assigned email addresses in order to redeem their vouchers. So it's actually in their email addresses. So we're asking them, please check your email address and go and redeem your vouchers, because we need, by the middle of March,
Yes.
we want to close off this activity.
Very good.
And we need their cooperation.
And these are the teachers in grades 4
Right.
and 6.
Right, grades 4 to 6.
Yes.
And
4 to
grades
6.
1 to 3.
Okay. Well,
Right.
and
it's
Is it part of their remuneration?
yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because
It's very. That's very good.
there's a large percentage of teachers who leave the thing per year,
Yes.
right? So it's good if it's part of their remuneration.
Yes,
they
it
can
is.
move with it.
Indeed, but
Right,
also the staging of it that Ms. Sims is telling us about is appropriate, because grades 4 to 6 are those that are nearing the end of their primary studies, and they have exams. And therefore, the teachers have to be best equipped in order to help them, especially given the learning loss that we have experienced. Is that so, Ms. Sims?
That's correct, sir. We were very, very strategic
Yes, you have
in
been.
how we approached
Yes,
it. So we're confirming.
Yes, I agree. That's a good thing. Now, okay. So the device is a property of the teacher, Mr. Rhoden. Once he or she has redeemed it, and as Mr. Charles is saying, if you leave the profession, you take it with you. If you stay, it's a permanent feature of your teaching infrastructure. Is that correct?
So I think Ms. Sims would be better
to answer
this one than me.
Okay.
Right. So yes, once the teacher remains in the profession,
Right.
it belongs to the teacher as well as for the life of the laptop, because on average, a laptop can last you up to 5 years, and with excellent care, it can go up to at least 7-8 years.
Yes.
And so that is why we're pushing it.
Whoa. Well,
So
that's
once they remain in the service,
right.
yes, and even if they should move to another school,
You take it with
they are
them.
permitted to take it with them, because it's about teaching and learning and administration, integrating ICTs, because the time has changed, and the time is now.
Well, I'm taking you to that in a moment, but let me understand clearly. Mr. Charles was asking, if they leave the profession entirely, what happens to the laptop?
At this point, they leave the laptop with us.
Okay.
Because the new teacher that is coming in would have to get that laptop. But I know that there are deliberations concerning how we would treat a teacher who leaves. So,
because
but at this time, yes, sir.
If it is there,
That's
not part of their remuneration.
That's right.
If it is so,
Let me clarify.
Is it
Remember, I
part of the
started out
if it's part of
by
the
saying
settlement.
at the start, the tablets.
right.
Tablets were part of the heads of agreement meeting.
Oh, I see.
And based on what is happening with the pandemic and the demands for this blended approach, the teachers are requesting laptops. And so in addition to the tablets were part of the package, but now we're empowering them more with the laptops. I hope that is clearer.
It's clear.
Okay.
It's quite something. But Mr. Rhoden, I want to know, one of the main areas of concern for all of us who are trying to be digitally enabled is the question of maintenance, And I'm anxious whether there's some maintenance component that e-learning is building into this provision of laptops for teachers. Please tell us.
Okay, Mr. Thwaites. So we do have, so the devices come with a standard manufacturer's warranty that covers the general device in terms of manufacturer's defects and stuff. But we do also have a service assurance unit at e-learning, and that service assurance unit provides support with device use and care. You did allude earlier to the importance of teachers getting training in terms of being able to utilize those devices correctly.
Yes.
And so we do have a service assurance unit that provides that sort of a support, not just to teachers, but also to students, because the students are also receiving tablets through the Own Your Own Device program. And we have students who are receiving tablets, whether through the SERVE initiative, which targets the 63 members of parliaments and also the councillors. So where those students receive those devices too, support is also available through our service assurance team for those students who receive devices.
You know, I'm just wondering, help me through this one so that our listeners can fully understand here and abroad. Sure. I noticed, Pearnel, you would have seen it, a number of well-intentioned alumni groups, business persons, etc., provide devices for the children. Yes. But then they
MPs too using their own, their money.
Constituency Development Fund.
So they're going to have 2 and 3.
But you have it's like the motor car scene, Mr. Rhoden. You can have 2 or 3 main models, but you may end up with 15, 20 different iterations. How do you maintain? How do you service this kind of proliferation so that everybody's getting reasonable service on the same page, to use a cliche? Any thoughts?
Okay. So for the devices, what we do encourage, so there are some basic steps that, let's say, a parent can do, a teacher can do.
Yeah.
So you receive you go to the vendor, you redeem your tablet or you redeem your laptop voucher, you get your device. Now, one of the things that we encourage you to do is to ensure that your software is up to date. So each manufacturer releases from time to time at different points software updates that the end user will need to download and apply to their device so that it functions optimally. So those are things that you cannot skip as the end user. Right. Whether it is the apps that you're using for, let's say, your Android device, even your iOS device, if you go that route, because the beneficiaries do have the option to upscale, let's say, from a $30,000 voucher or from the laptop, they might decide to purchase something that is more high-end than the minimum specifications that we have provided.
Right.
Now, if they do that, what we encourage is keeping your device up to date, ensuring that, for example, your antivirus is up to date.
Yes.
Because that also forms a crucial defense for your device to ensure that you are keeping it clean and also being mindful of where you use your device. We know that in this day and age, it is easy for somebody to send us an email with spyware and all of these other things, right?
Yes.
And so we have to be mindful that, let's say, and the banks will tell us from time to time to be careful when we get emails requesting us to click on this thing to provide our information here or there.
Yes.
And it is also just ensuring that the wider society or children understand the importance of looking at their devices and ensuring that they are mindful of the websites that they go on, mindful of the apps that they download, because sometimes it is not knowing what an app does. For example, you might be saying, oh, well, this is just a game, so I downloaded a game app. But that game app
turns out to be something else.
Infected with something else, right? And so by installing it on your device is compromised. Yes. You might share it with your friend, because we do know the students will share apps when they get them. So that does expose others to viruses and other stuff. The same applies for laptops.
How much is this program, Mr. Rhoden? How much is its efficacy dependent upon internet access?
So for the tablets that the students are getting under the OYOD under OYOD phase 2,
that's the tablets in school program.
Right. So for the Own Your Own Device program, so there are 2 phases. There's a phase 1. And that phase 1 provided just on target was 36,000 vouchers. Mm-hmm. We have issued to date just over 33,000 800 vouchers to qualified beneficiaries. Now, the challenge is that we have a pool of about 5,000 persons who received the vouchers who have not gone ahead and visited the vendor locations to redeem those vouchers. So those vouchers are sitting and waiting. So we really have just about 28,400 who have gone ahead and redeemed. So there's another group who they received the voucher, they did the application, received it, but they have not taken up the offer. And so those persons would not be able to benefit because they have not redeemed their vouchers.
Could it be that many teachers have already owned a laptop? Because I myself have made a presentation to a teacher. So if she get her thing right now and she had her laptop from last year working with, she might not rush to pick up the new one. You understand? She may even hold it for other things.
Well,
right. So Mr. Chair, so for the teacher, the own your own device, that 36,000 target was for students who are non-path beneficiaries. So those persons would have submitted applications online, or they would have submitted applications through their Member of Parliament's offices, and those would have been uploaded into the OYOD system, and those vouchers were issued. So those persons had an opportunity when they were redeeming their vouchers to also purchase a tablet that was LTE capable, meaning it uses a SIM card, so they could purchase a SIM card and have data or internet access as a part of that purchase. The same has been done for OYOD for the phase 2, which is targeting students under the SERVE initiative. Students who are on path will also benefit through this program. So the option is there for them to go to a vendor, they purchase a laptop, they purchase they get a tablet voucher, some will get laptops, they purchase the tablets that supports the use of a SIM card. So they have data bundles that are included in the purchase price for those devices. And so they have internet access, because we do recognize that access to the internet is crucial for our students to participate in the online environment. And so that has been built into the program, where once they redeem the vouchers at $30,000, they get a SIM card as a part of that bundle. And that will enable them now to have access to the internet. And it's something that they can renew
periodically
on a monthly basis to ensure that they have internet access,
have the data
as an ongoing concern.
But Ms. Sims, I'd like to canvass with you now, if I might. The word I hear is that while I think the correct decision has been taken to get all the children back to school after midterm, that we are going forward with a system of blended learning. What is that really going to mean, you think, Ms. Sims, where everybody is seated in school, but we are still going to be engaging, maybe dependent on the devices? How do you see that working out, please?
Well, it is contextual, sir. For example, if a child is ill, or for whatever reason cannot be at school that day, they should not be denied the opportunity of getting the content.
Right.
And so, we have very large schools, small schools, medium-sized schools. And so we're dependent on the school leaders to assist in just contextualizing what the blended approach will look like.
So if you can't come to school, you're encouraged to participate vicariously.
Yes, you are.
Okay, but okay, that's going to be new, isn't it? Because think of it, Pearnel. In the past, the only time you got the real learning was when you went to school.
Yes.
No, and we have a high level of absenteeism. I've heard Minister speak about her zeal to get everybody back into class, and I share that entirely. That's excellent. Yeah. But what I gather is that you're coming back to school, but you're carrying your device with you, or you're relying on your device, whether it is to do homework or to check up when you're not in school or you miss something. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
Well, that is dependent on leadership at this level.
True.
Because when a child, look back.
Yes.
I mean, you're not covered by a teacher. You're not covered by your parents.
Quite.
And you can communicate with your friends
if you want,
by your
device.
Instrument. A lot of this is dependent on leadership, guidance, And look, we were all children, and we all understand how it goes.
So it seems the teacher is going to have to be very nimble to be able to deliver face-to-face and also communicate with those those who are learning by device at the same time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Our teachers will have to, it's a common word nowadays, pivot, and, to be very dynamic as it relates to, catering to the different needs, because we have learned so many lessons from the pandemic, and there are so many other learning platforms out there to support teaching and learning. So not being at school physically for whatever reason should not stop our students from learning. And you mentioned the learning loss. It is very real, but it is our responsibility to ensure that teaching and learning, as well as administration, because that's also a part of schooling.
Of course, it's going to be the next lesson that's going to have to be learned is how to do vicarious learning and how to do face-to-face learning all at the same time, and that is something that's going to be exquisitely sensitive.
No, but put it that I can understand.
You understand what
the teachers that are out there from these schools, whether it's university or the other schools,
indeed,
they themselves have to be taught.
Yes.
And it said earlier that the people who sell them the laptops are prepared to serve. Are they prepared to serve and teach? Are they prepared to? How does a teacher learn? How is she taught how to really use this and communicate it to a child who was sick and didn't come to school?
Right.
But she's to watch those who are there and communicate. Does it happen at the same time?
Yeah. I follow your questioning. Ms. Sims, what's the answer?
Okay. There is no straight answer, but just to say that we have empowered our teachers with access to multiple resources. So, for example, the child can watch our TV channels during the day, or could send an email to the teacher in the evening for further clarification. And because we try to align all the content that's out there based on the curriculum and what's happening based on the term as well.
Right.
So the child will be receiving content from multiple sources that is aligned to the curriculum based on the term, but at the same time, the teacher will still be able to connect with the child to provide the content
to
answer queries and questions
again,
as they arise.
It's going to have to be done very sensitively. Mr. Rhoden, before time runs out on us, tell us, we broadcast on this program to many, many people in the diaspora, you see. These are the parents, these are the well-wishers, the philanthropists, the alumni who will send back devices to the schools. What word do you have for them? Should they be careful what they buy? Should they check with somebody to get the right specifications to fit in with the programs locally? Give a piece of advice.
So we definitely would encourage doing some consultations locally before sending devices, just to ensure that the devices that are being provided, that they will function optimally in the space.
Very important.
Because it's very important. Yes, and you alluded earlier to the variety in terms of devices that are available, and just the options for use and care and usage generally. So we always welcome the donations and the provision of devices, but yes, we definitely have to be mindful of what is being provided and just ensuring that whatever is being provided will function optimally.
Is there something you can say? Is there something you can say to those who are listening now? That if I wanted to send a laptop, I would know the kind that is being used.
Yes, or could should I find out for the child, my child, or whoever I'm benefiting? Should I consult the principal of their school? Would that be a useful thing, you think, Mr. Rhoden?
Yes, you can consult the principal of the school, but additionally, they can also visit the website for the so e-learning has placed on its website
okay
the device specifications And this is based on discussions that we've had with the MOE in terms of a standard for devices that are acceptable. Yeah. So this is something that is available on the e-learning website, which is www.elearning, so elearningja.gov.jm. And so persons can visit that website to look at the device specification that's there and use that as a guide.
That's in terms excellent of advice.
Purchasing, purchasing devices.
Can I beg you repeat the website for me again?
Sure. So it's www.elearning, so elearningja.gov.jm.
Okay. I want to repeat that several times in the program, you see, and whenever we appear on this, because what we do know, Ms. Sims, is that Jamaicans abroad have this burning desire to ensure that the young people in their families or at the schools they attended or just those in need should be assisted. And right now, what we want to do is to make sure that the investment they make in an electronic device is the most appropriate one, eh?
Yeah. So, Mr. Thwaites, just to add.
Please, Mr. Rhoden, go ahead.
So, just to encourage, so for persons who have received their OYOD vouchers and you've not yet redeemed, we're encouraging you, go visit the different vendor locations. The information would have been provided on your vouchers or text messages in terms of the vendors that you can go to redeem.
Yes.
If you have challenges, reach out to us at the following numbers. So that's 888-338. 338-2283.
2283.
Or 888-724-8463.
Yes.
They can also reach out to the e-learning help desk at 876-929-4044.
4044.
Right, or via email at helpdesk, so HELPDESK.
Yes, sir.
At e-learning, so elearningja.gov.jm.
Okay.
And somebody from our service assurance team will provide assistance as well, just to ensure that we can get the vouchers to you as quickly as possible for those persons who you might have deleted the text messaging. Yes. So one of the challenges is persons would have received the text messages with the voucher information, but because persons are skeptical because of scamming and all of these other things, some persons might have deleted the messages inadvertently. And so they are not able to visit the vendor locations to redeem. But do reach out to us at e-learning or using the MOE's OI help desk as well, so that you can get your voucher once that has been approved and you can go to the vendor locations and redeem.
Very good.
What about a teacher? What about a teacher who has an up-to-date, top-class laptop? And she's saying, look, I could use that money for something else.
No.
Has any arrangement has been done?
No, not at all.
No negotiator brought that up at the
No. So the truth is, the device really is available.
Yes.
Just for the voucher is only redeemable for the approved device.
Yes.
So they're not able to go and
it's for the approved device and for the approved person.
Yeah.
Person, right.
Meaning a laptop.
Name and device.
Meaning a laptop.
Okay.
Meaning a laptop.
Got you.
So for example, Mr. Charles, if you got a voucher, the voucher would be in your name, and you can go to the vendor and redeem the voucher for the laptop. You couldn't get another device. Or you couldn't get the cash in lieu of the device.
You could not get another device or get cash in place of the.
Did he say not?
Not.
Not. So let's say you couldn't, if you get a laptop voucher, for example, you couldn't go to the vendor and say, okay, give me 3 tablets instead of giving me a laptop.
I couldn't do that.
No,
that's not an option.
Mr. Charles teasing you here, Mr. Rhoden.
No, you
can't get as much.
but
we do want to put it out there.
But you're closing the gate and it gives them an opportunity.
Let's say they got a laptop voucher.
It gives you an opportunity.
They can actually go ahead and say upgrade from the tablet voucher to a laptop. That's an option that is there for them.
Got you.
They would have to, however,
it gives you an opportunity to put it out there.
Yeah, sure.
Because you can upgrade your laptop using that money.
Yeah,
in other words, I can go there and want a class.
But you can't go.
Can't get the cash.
No, you can't go and buy
you can't take
here.
it and buy here.
That is correct.
That is correct. Mr. Rhoden.
A lady say I'm being very unkind to say here.
Never mind.
So I withdraw you to buy anything else, nothing else but the laptop.
Ms. Sims Mr.
No,
Rhoden,
but the laptop. You can also get accessories where the device cost is lower than the voucher amount to make up to the 90,000.
Let me say, we're having a quiet revolution in education, eh?
No, Ronnie, don't call it quiet. This, in my opinion, is the largest revolution that has happened for a long time. It's a total change. Children are going back to school. Children are moving from slate and pencil to laptop and don't have to go to school, can stay yard and look on TV and learn if they want. And parents are learning too.
I hope so. Ladies and gentlemen, you are the brokers of this great change. Thank you so much for all you have told us today. We'll repeat the numbers and the help connections as we go along. Thank you very much, Mr. Seymour Rhoden, and you, Ms. Nadine Sims, for Educate Jamaica today. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All the best.
Okay, Ms. Sims, and I know you're a teacher, and I said that if it weren't for a teacher, I wouldn't be where I am.
I think that's true of all of us.
We all agree.
This is the public eye on the bridge, 99. We have been spending up this morning and today talking about leadership.
Right.
And teachers have a great deal to do with encouraging leadership, don't they? Yes? So you learn leadership if they show it.
It's a frustration sometimes for teachers, you know.
Tell me how.
Teacher try them best to see if them can make them two boys learn something.
Yes.
Instead of them learning, then quarreling, then fighting, then not listening. The teacher just want to say, but I just throw down my hand and make them go about them. And these are the teachers that we have to encourage. Right. We have to say, listen, you have accepted a job that is beyond profession, you know.
Yeah. But we pay them $1.2 million a year.
Ronnie, some people don't get paid for what they have to do in life.
No, but at the same time, they do have to go to the supermarket.
And they have their own children to take care of.
They have their own children to take care of.
I understand that.
So when this is why I hitched when I said they should be the most valuable, because we talk about it, we say it. It's absolutely truthful what you and I say, but at some point we have got to really look at what we are how we are remunerating them and how we are holding them accountable.
And Ronnie, I had to say this at another place. Teachers, you cannot pay for teaching.
No.
You cannot pay the job that a teacher has to do for generations beyond ours. Right?
I agree with you, sir. But that doesn't mean you can make the salaries stay so. And when I saw the teachers signing up for their 4% the other day and saying, the only reason they're doing it is because they've been promised that there's going to be a reclassification, is it?
Yes.
Of the public sector. And you and I know that there's very little money for the reclassification to go around to everybody.
Yeah, what I know that you won't express.
Okay.
Is that the money come from us.
No, but I know that. But
and where there is no money, is only us or we can make more money available.
And let us
and
rehearse.
You know the war when that comes in.
But let us rehearse the argument again.
Yes.
We are getting more tax from people every day. Every time the gas price goes up, more tax is taken out of it. Every time. 1. 2. Collecting more tax is one thing. Using the tax money that we get in the right and proper way is another thing, Mr. Charles.
But hold on, go back to the first thing you said.
Yes, sir.
Do you get tax off per gallon or
ad valorem?
So hold on now. You use a big word that my
ad valorem means according to the value.
Yeah.
So
you need to explain that.
If the gas, thank you very much.
The value of the gas right now.
Yeah.
Comes from where?
The value of the gas?
Yeah.
You mean the cost of the gas?
The cost, yes.
Comes from abroad and comes from Petrojam, and we don't know how much of Petrojam in there.
No, forget we don't know yet. Let's deal with what we should know.
Yes, sir.
Right?
We know
what I'm trying to find out.
We know the basic price gone up.
The price gone up.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, going up of the price, does that increase?
Of course.
Profit too, or taxation too?
Taxation too. Of course, because it's a percentage of whatever the price is, and if the price is higher, the tax stake is higher than if it were lower.
But the price is only higher because they at Petrojam are saying they are paying that much more. They are not getting anything.
I wish I believed that, sir. Let's pause on that and ask our friends at Irie Jam in New York. Beau-regard, how are you?
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Thank you very much for joining us.
More Jam, I noticed that the gas price has gone up.
Gone up in the United States. That we won't ask him.
Yes. So I want to ask you, what you are paying for gas now is nearly twice what I used to pay when I was there?
More than that.
Well, the average gas price right now in the United States is around $4.
$4 a gallon.
$4 US dollar per gallon?
Yes.
Have mercy.
Ronnie.
Yeah, man.
So we not so bad then?
No, but them have money, we don't have it. Them rich, we not rich.
No, I'm not making a joke out of this, but it has gone up around the world because of the situation.
That should not be a comfort. That means we have to economize all the more.
Yeah.
Don't it, Beau-regard? You all have to look and see whether you put on the car now and take train.
Well, many people are doing that.
A lot of people have been doing that, but unfortunately, right now we see a lot of things going on in the subway as well because there's been a lot of random attacks going on in New York City.
Oh my!
As far as the subway is concerned,
subway crime,
assaults and robberies. Yeah, a lot of subway
I thought
crime.
they had police officers on most of the carriages.
Well, that is what the mayor is trying to get back to right now. That is his agenda right now.
That's
get more
Mayor Adams
officers on the street. Yes.
Okay, listen, we're switching things. This week, we had the verdict in the Ahmad Abrah case. Now, of all of the racial crimes that have been so exposed in the United States over the last year and long before, this one touched me, this and George Floyd touched me most, Beau-regard, Pearnel.
Yes.
This was a case where a man was doing nothing wrong. All he was doing was exercising, jogging,
yes.
And somebody, three men say, boy, he's a black man, he must be a criminal. And therefore, they not even say that, but they make him pass or say, go away, don't come here again. What they do is hunt him down and shot him to death.
Yes.
Now, if that is not hatred.
What's the verdict?
Verdict is that they're guilty. Guilty of murder and guilty of federal hate crime.
So, Ronnie, things will happen in a society. And we must not blame the whole society when incidents like these happen. Because what if it was said, what did they say? What if they had said not guilty?
Well, it would have been a travesty of justice given the facts.
Okay, so
yes, it would.
So 4 men hunt down a man and 3 men hunt down a man and killed him, and we are saying it is because the man is black.
No, they
and
that's proven now.
You see what the jury? How many black men was on the jury?
5 whites, 3 blacks, and 1 Hispanic.
Right. So in other words, I think that somebody can take some praise. That
yes, it's a vindication of the system.
Exactly.
Yes, it is that. But it should never have happened in the first place, Beau-regard.
Many things should never have happened.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is something that is embedded in the culture here in America, the racism, and it's hard to get out of a lot of people for generations.
Yeah.
It's been taught to a lot of people since they were kids growing up, one generation to the next, and don't like this person and do not talk to that person, and this person is not more that is less than you. That's the whole idea that a lot of Americans are.
And one of the factors is important for our audience for us to rehearse this. Apparently, one of the 3 men was particularly angry because his daughter was dating a black man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that so riled him up that when this occasion arose, the suggestion is that he was after.
All black man.
Anyone. Yes.
Ronnie.
Natty Dread. Guess who's coming for dinner? Not. Beau-regard, you're the DJ. Don't that you know that tune?
Yes.
Yes, man. Big tune. Big tune.
Guess who's coming for dinner?
Michael.
Yes.
And Ronnie,
keep trying.
When we're off the air, you're going to remind me that I tell you something that's not your word.
All right, I will.
Concerning that.
So Beau-regard, the big question is for all of us: with how do we rise out of that mentality where not everybody, thank God, there have been vast changes in the United States.
I'm glad you said that, Ronnie.
Yes.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
There have been vast changes.
Vast changes.
Because when I was in New York, they were searching for black students to come to City College from Manhattan.
Affirmative action.
And they were going free.
Yeah.
Follow me?
So, and now
some change has happened.
Sure.
Some change has
and
come.
now the Republican Party, Mr. Beau-regard, is saying, I don't want to know, there must be no circumstance in which you ever ask what is the color of your skin. So that the search that Pearnel tells us about in the 60s could never take place after that. Has justice so descended that we can ignore race from now on? I wonder.
Or the opposite? Have we reached a stage where there is no longer need for that?
That's the point. What you say, Beau-regard?
No, I believe that race is going to play a role in a lot of things here in America for a very long time to come. And, just recently in a case that was also tried with another police officer who had shot and killed a young man, she was convicted, and then the judge gave her just 2 years. You know, the case of the police officer who took the taser, shot the young man and thought it was her taser.
Yeah, I'm not justifying that sentence at all, but the intent to because you are of a black race or whichever race, and you are and I'm going to attack you. I can't see that was a hate crime in the way that the Abrah case was really a hate crime, eh?
If you just attack a random black person?
No, it was that it? Random? That was at the circumstances of that case?
I'm trying to repeat the question.
No, I'm saying that the case of the policewoman who intended to use a taser but fired a gun. I see a difference between that and which appears to have been a terrible mistake, and you can argue that the man shouldn't have been stopped at all. But if that is qualitatively different in my mind to what happened to Abrah, where they chase him down. Yes,
there are two different cases, but when it comes to race, there's a history of police dealing with
absolutely, but you can't take that and judge each individual circumstance, no?
But a lot of people are saying, that the whole entire thing, the way it just went down.
I don't know the details of it, but there you are.
Yes.
Ronnie might be frightened to hear me say this.
What?
That we are coming up a little. We have come from afar where I stopped following Dr. King because I said, you make man a lick you too much in your head and you walk away and not following you. I followed him.
I thought I had a pacifist here with me, Beau-regard. Listen now, we have a guest. Beau-regard, listen up strong. Here's Vincent Morrison, veteran trade unionist of UCASE. Hello, Vin, how are you?
I am good, Ronnie. It's good to hear your soothing voice on the airwaves.
Thank you very much. And Pearnel is with me, your colleague, your cumbuller, your sparring partner.
Boy, the giant. You have a giant beside you.
That's what I feel. Yeah. And we're linking with Beau-regard, who is the host of Irie Jam in New York. We have our diaspora audience with us today. So you're coming large, Mr. Morrison.
Boy, I tell you, you can't be larger than Pearnel, boy. I tell you.
Listen to me. We Pearnel and Beau-regard don't know, but you and I always begin our conversations on radio with a reflection on that wonderful, dramatic, exciting, dying game of cricket. I wonder.
I don't agree. It's not dying, It's taking a pause.
It's taking a pause.
And I want to use the opportunity to pay homage to Easton Morris.
Yes, of course. Yes, recently departed.
Recently departed.
Yes. Yes, that well deserved. A man for whom the skill of cricket was matched only by the integrity and the beauty of his character.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think Pearnel will remember he worked on the Overseas Employment Regional Labour Board.
Oh.
And
Easton
he had
Morris.
Morris. Yes. And
he had some issues, and some pension issues.
Uh-huh.
and he spoke to me. I was a member of the board at the time. I was so happy to see the smile when it was sorted out.
It was resolved. Excellent. But
I thought Mark Morris was very near a national hero as far as I'm concerned.
Very good. Well, but the West Indies cricket team is a disappointment. They don't seem to be able to gel it and get it together at all.
We're not building the game, Ronnie. If you see what England, India, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, if you see what those countries are doing in terms of building from the grassroots, you know, I've always reflect that Lawrence Rowe we played at the primary school level. We played together.
I remember Matcham Cup.
Back in the primary school Matcham.
Yes.
And I take umbrella, God Pearnel is there, because I'm saying that the parliamentary building shouldn't be built at Heroes Park. We should left that park for cricket, football, and for the youth of Kingston.
Okay.
And I hope Pearnel can help me fix it.
You hear what he's saying? He says we shouldn't build the Parliament building at Heroes Park. We should have left that for cricket.
Well, listen. Let me tell you something. I am prejudiced when it comes to Parliament. I have already committed myself that where it is, it's not going to be there for a long time because everything is coming up. And we have to find a place to put it. My concern is your concern, Ronnie. What do we do with the people who are next door?
Right.
And if we are going to move them, where are we going to put them? At whose expense? And now, I understand that all that is going to be taken care of.
I doubt it.
We must have a parliament building somewhere.
Vin would not disagree with that.
No, Vin want cricket.
Yeah, but my concern...
I want a parliamentary building, you know. I'm hoping to be in parliament one day.
I hope you will.
So I want a state-of-the-art building, Pearnel.
Yeah.
But I am saying that we have beautiful land off the highway.
Okay, but...
Why not build the building off the highway, put up a nice hotel, where people coming from country can stay over, where we can accommodate our country rural MPs. That is what you should be thinking.
Okay, but Vin, hear me now. Where Parliament should be put aside for the moment. Why do you want another field for cricket when we have Sabina Park within spitting distance of the Heroes Park, sitting down idle 300 days of the year? What is the basis of that? Sabina Park is one of the greatest wastes of public money at the present time. That should be the Academy of Cricket.
And the name alone. The name alone.
Yes.
Around the world.
Yes.
And want management.
And why can't
management of Sabina Park?
And why can't cricket be played at the national arena?
Well, but use what is supposed to be the foremost cricket ground first. I would like to see a cricket academy where every day young schoolboys from primary school to high school were engaged in the craft, the discipline, the art, the culture of cricket right there.
You don't know what it would mean.
Talking about the academy running, you should be going greenfield.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be going brownfield. You should be going greenfield.
I agree.
In other words, there's enough land in St. Catherine.
But
there's enough land in Clarendon.
Why do we want to spend more money? We have bus. We have the place set up there, and the place is, we have spent billions on it, and the place is sitting down idle. That is egregious, Vin Morrison.
You cannot pay for the name.
It has no living quarters. You can put an academy where there's no living, sleeping quarters.
Okay.
You have to have
all right, I take your point. There are so many places that are available there you wouldn't know. But never mind, I take that point. But you don't like when I call cricket a dying game, and I'm not happy about it yet either. I'm not happy about it.
Dying, if it's dying, it's only in the West Indies.
Well, but this is the point. Australia. But we're giving up. We're giving up what used to be our gem.
Yeah, because the administration.
All Ireland can beat us. What the hell is that, man?
It's bad.
Vin, No wonder our Jamaicans abroad turn to that cruel sport, American football, and other such lesser forms of sport than the urbane game of cricket. Beau-regard, you know about cricket?
Yes, sir.
Beau-regard was a Georgian, and therefore he would have had some introduction. We're taking a break on the public eye. When we come back, we take Vin Morrison into his field of labor relations. Vin Morrison has been complaining, Pearnel Charles, about the contracts that are routinely given out quarter after quarter, year after year, and deny the workers the benefits of settled employment. Is he right? This is the public eye. Vin Morrison, I've been working for 60 years, and I've never had a permanent job in my life. What's wrong with the contract arrangements if you're performing properly?
The contract, the fixed-term contract, that's what it's called. Should be contract for fixed-term arrangement. In other words, the World Bank have a project that lasts for 6 months, 1 year, whatever. So at the end of that time, there's no work. But take the bauxite and aluminum industry. UC Rusal Aluminum Jamaica Limited. A work was recently terminated. In fact, 2 workers had protest cruelty. We went to the tribunal. They were found unjustifiably terminated. The contract they had expired while we were at the tribunal. The tribunal ruled that they cannot go back to work because the fixed-term contract expired. Now, why should a Jamaican or 2 Jamaicans, in fact, they are father and son, why should they be denied the right to work? They were terminated. The tribunal found them not guilty. Why should they be refused to go back to make a living to support themselves and their family? Now, what has happened is that Japan, years ago, Japan was having the same problem, and their parliament changed the law because they recognized that the Japan workers and the Japan labor market was coming under severe damage and pressures. So Japan put in a law, amend the law, which now provides that you can only have 2 fixed-term contracts during the course of your employment.
Oh.
And those 2 contracts cannot last more than 5 years. How can we have a bauxite and aluminum company, Pearnel? You're a bauxite guru from the days of Vincent and Nod Reynolds, Michael Manley, Silent, all of them coming through. How can a company coming out of Alcan Jamaica Limited, one of the best companies we had in Jamaica, where decent work is concerned, have a situation where workers are terminated and they can't go back to their work, although they were found unjustifiably dismissed? When you have a fixed-term contract in a running, you cannot go to the credit union or the bank to borrow a cent.
Yes. You
can't own a house if you don't have one. Because nobody, the housing trust is not going to lend you money.
Vin, let me disturb and ask you a question because it's very vital. All the workers that you're talking about are on 6-term contract?
Everybody.
Hold on. At the end of the first 6 term, what happened? They extended to another 6 term?
They have to sign a different contract. If they refuse to sign it, they were told by the management, guy instruct them not to sign, and when they refuse to sign, management says to them not sign, them can't come into the plan.
Okay, so you have workers who have signed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6-term contracts.
From 2010, the company terminated all the workers they had in 2010, March 2010, and took them back on 6-term contract, cut the benefits, cut the wages by 40%.
Why does the worker lose? When if you were on a full-term contract and you spend 5 years, that would be 6 months, right? Do you get your same allowances?
No.
What?
The workers have no redundancy payment. because the contract said they waive the right to redundancy.
They have pension.
And I don't know which worker in Jamaica is going to waive the right to redundancy.
Yeah.
They don't get overtime payments. They don't get paid for public holidays, whether it's time and a half or double time. And
what about pension and sick leave?
The ugly days, furnace. When you guys had to fought hard to get the bauxite and alumina worker up to a certain level. They have passed that. Gone back to those days. And we can't run a country where we are regressing. Where worker benefit becomes regressive. It don't make sense.
But that's exactly what's happening now. Tell me about what about pension and sick leave when in the contracts in Morrison? What's the norm?
I've said over and over, where pension and social security is concerned, that don't exist. The company went to the Privy Council to get a surplus of over $3.5 billion. That was a scheme that they inherited when they bought the company from Glencore. That was a scheme that was developed by the Manchester Pension Fund, run by Alcan Jamaica Limited. What they did was they terminate the pension, fight to get more than half of the surplus, and we begged them, we asked them to put in a pension scheme. Them said no. You know what we had to do? We had to go to JMB and get the JMB people to go up there and register the workers under individual pension arrangement. Because Vincent Morrison is not going to have a bauxite company. And when a man leave work, retired, he might have to go back at the gate, go to make the workers them collect something in a hat or envelope to give. So I took that position that since the company don't want to join us in a contributory pension scheme, right? We have to put in one of the individual pension arrangements that is going around the country now.
Vincent, hold on a minute, because I'm going to confess that I didn't know that this can happen in Jamaica. I didn't know it was happening. So let me see if I'm correct. Are you saying that a worker who joined this company is limited to 6 months, gets no pension arrangement work out for there's no 6 months, get no redundancy payment, even if they spend six months or 6 months, at the end of that they get none of these benefits?
Let me get the timeline right. The company has about 3 or 4 contracts. They have a 2-year contract. Some workers, the highly skilled workers, the guys them who run the powerhouse and the operators, those guys, they have 2-year contracts. Then they have 1-year contract. Then they have 6 months. Then they have 3-month contract. That's the arrangement in terms of the contracts.
But you're not answering the question. You're not answering me, Vin. I'm saying that if you have a worker who have six months contract, that would have made them been there for 3 years. Or let us say 5 years. At the end of 5 years, that worker is terminated, not for cause that is against their benefits. They have no benefit to get, no redundancy, no. Are you saying that?
I am saying that, my friend and brother, Pearnel Charles. I'm saying that.
And the IDT say nothing about that?
The IDT doesn't have any engagement around about contracts?
We went to the IDT with the matter under my great friend Thwaites Nelson. We didn't get the award that we were looking for to solve that. We went back to under Marsha Smith, and she was chairwoman there. We didn't get the benefits.
What benefit? What benefit at all you didn't get? What benefit?
Redundancy, overtime payments, public holidays.
No, hold on, Ronnie. Hold on. Because you could be talking to me at the head of a table. If I have a contract, an 8-hour-a-day contract, and the company expects and require me to work 9 hours, I'm not going to get paid for the extra hours?
They don't pay overtime.
Huh?
They don't pay overtime.
No. So what do I get paid for then?
For what?
They have an arrangement that's replaced overtime called excess, where they pay the worker 7%. When we will do the calculation, one worker work out that it don't even represent 5% of what he should be paid for overtime.
Look here. So,
but there's no overtime payment. You know the normal overtime payment. After 8 hours,
yes.
time and a half.
Uh-huh.
If you work your first rest day, time and a half, your second rest day, double time, all of that don't exist.
But what we're talking about is one of the most developed sectors of the economy, which is the bauxite industry. Yes?
That is correct.
Now, a statistic I would like to know is what proportion of the labor force is working under that kind of contract.
And which company?
Which companies? And
why?
Well,
what I can tell you, I can tell you the BPO sector works under that contract.
Yes.
Security guards work under that contract.
Yes.
We have about 15 to 20,000 security guards in Jamaica. And a lot of workers in the public sector. The only difference with the public sector is that the public sector has a gratuity system. So if you work and you retire, and you don't have no pension, you have a gratuity arrangement to get. But I am saying.
When go back to the security guard, because both of us were there.
Yes.
You are telling me, you are telling the world, you're telling all of us that you don't have an 8-hour work day, and if you are required to do an extra 3 hours for a day, you don't get paid for the 3 hours?
No, you don't get paid. And in fact, it's even more egregious, Pearnel. The women who work in the security industry don't get paid for maternity leave. They don't get paid for vacation leave.
How can they?
No. Maternity, hold on, that's law, man. That's law.
But that's law. Why don't they claim it?
Ronnie, I'm talking to two eminent former parliamentarians.
Yeah.
I am saying, Parliament, I was told in a civics class years ago, that Parliament is supreme, and when Parliament passes a law, me and you, our Pearnel, can sit down and change it.
No. And contract cannot supersede statutory law.
Well, I will send you some of the contracts in the security guard industry.
I don't doubt you, Vince.
Okay.
Send them anyway. But this is abusive. I left in Parliament when I retired. I left an undebated resolution that we needed to examine this precise issue, this substitution of short-term contracts for regular employment. And we never had a chance, or we never gave ourselves a chance to debate it. And we wonder why we have a dispirited working class, and why I am very critical of, while being respectful, very critical of you gentlemen in the trade union movement, because you've allowed capital, you've allowed governments to emasculate you.
Vin, both you and I stood up at some conference when the security guards were brought in. They told us they want to join the union.
Yes.
And they didn't join because of themselves. Because they went back and undermined what the unions were setting up to do. They went back and advised the manager about others. And before we could get in, they dismissed some of them. You recall, right?
Yeah, but what I've been saying, Pearnel, what I've been saying, there are some industries that what we have to do, we have to set up what is called the Joint Industrial Council.
Yeah.
The we have a council and
the building industry, for example.
And the building industry, and it worked well.
I had a resolution on that too, and it never saw the light of day under.
If we don't put Pearnel.
Ronnie's taking off my trade union cap. But Vin, the public is listening to us, and I am confused. So I want to just ask you to straighten this out for me. First, there's a law which says if you're an employee and you get pregnant and you have some maternity leave, you're telling me that a worker who is working under the contract that you're talking about, if that person gets pregnant and want to leave 2 months to go and have the baby, they get no pay? That can't be true. I'm not accepting that. They can always
leave, Ronnie, Pearnel, but they don't get paid. They don't get the leave. They can get the leave. I don't think the employer would stop them from going to have the baby. So they can have the baby and the job.
Vin, I was Minister of Labour, and Ronnie Thwaites is looking at me and pointing his finger at me and asked me if that could happen. And I said no, because hold on, maternity leave, holiday with pay, you don't get those things because you're saying up.
Pearnel, I don't want to tell you how it started, because prior to a certain event, they were getting paid, but I don't, Vincent Morrison is a straight shooter, but I'd rather talk to you privately and tell you what has happened.
Please, I'm going to call you because I need to come down and sit with you.
And we want to hear it finally when you've discussed it here. Give us a break. We need to just tell people the time and do some other things. We soon come back. This is a public eye. Electric stuff. Who protects the Jamaican worker? Who acts in the interest of the vast majority of the population of Jamaica? Why it is that so many feel them have to go to New York, yes, or other parts in order to get justice? Soon come. Vin Morrison is the guest of Pearnel Charles and myself. Who defends a worker in Jamaica today? Who defends a Jamaican worker, Mr. Morrison, Mr. Charles?
Mr. Ronnie Thwaites, let me say one thing before we go back to this man. Yeah. One of the reasons why the Parliament was asked to come into the contractual arrangement between management is because only workers who were organized were getting certain benefits. Right. The Bustamante and Manley era, Sharon Saga era, Sharon and Michael Manley era, say, look, there are certain parts of a contract that has to become law. Yeah. So whether you have a union representing you in its place or not, the law is there.
No, I got you. But when you dip out a street and you need a job and somebody said to you, boy, don't worry with those things, law is one thing, but me a give you
No. Nothing. No, you cannot go.
You shouldn't.
You cannot. Well, if you do that, all right, let us say.
So I must carry my employer.
Hold on.
Go IDT.
Go
Ministry of Labour.
Yes.
And I don't have any backative?
No, you have backative.
Where?
You come to the Ministry of Labour. You don't need any lawyer to come there. And if the minister and his team cannot settle the dispute between you and your management, the minister sends it to the IDT. Hold on.
Is that sufficient defense?
Hold on.
Should be.
The IDT hand down a decision.
Yes.
It cannot be overturned by any court of law in Jamaica, except there's a legal aspect of it. A
legal mistake.
Right? It's the highest court, this IDT.
Yes.
So I don't understand.
So on the front page,
I'm worried now when Vin is telling me.
Vin is going to provide you with some writs, which we'll have to tell you.
I'm going to meet him tonight or tomorrow.
Indeed. But let us take the discussion to a deeper level.
Yes.
On the front page of the Gleaner today, Vincent Morrison, we have a case of a highly paid executive who was wrongly dismissed, apparently because he didn't, for whatever reason. Well, the reasons are important because they're very suspect. Yes. Okay? And now the public of this country, through one of its government agencies, is going to have to pay this man $35 million.
If you're wrong, you're wrong. Whether you're public or not.
No, I'm agreeing.
You're government or not.
But it shouldn't go this way. Yes.
Ronnie.
Yes.
The point that Pearnel raised is correct. There's what you call non-unionized employees across Jamaica. Formerly, the LRIDA,
Labor Relations and Industrial Disputes Act,
non-unionized employees cases of termination. And this has nothing to do with the benefits or what have you. It's cases of rights, not interest, cases of rights being sent to the tribunal. So that if you're a non-unionized employee, the law was amended to enable non-unionized, like the gentleman on the front of the Gleaner today.
Sure.
Yes.
Who benefit from that. Wonderful thing. But this is different from the fixed-term contract arrangement, where the employer gives the worker a contract. It's either you take it or you leave it. In other words, the fixed-term contract has no pension benefit. It has no overtime. You know,
it has no holiday with pay.
There's no consultation between the worker and the employer. In other words, it is drafted and given to you. If you don't sign it by a certain time, you don't have any job. What we are saying is that the fixed-term contract, the law, and fixed-term contracts are not illegal, you know. It's applicable under the common law. What we need is statute law to correct the injustice that is being brought upon the workers. And that is what the unions are calling for.
Well, so insofar as the unions have any talk, I'm understanding that. There's another side to it before time runs out, and so, gentlemen. Because while I'm completely in support of what Vincent Morrison is saying and what you, Pearnel Charles, are explaining, and you've vindicated for both of you all through your lives, there's another side. This notion that you have a permanent job, yes? Getting the appropriate benefits is one thing. That is right. But many times a person who has a permanent job simply cannot be dismissed.
No, that's not true.
Or it's very difficult.
True,
yeah.
That's not true.
Hold
very
on.
difficult.
Hold on.
In the public service where I serve.
Hold on. Let me explain what I'm saying.
Yes.
You're saying that if a person have a permanent job and breaks the rule, he cannot be dismissed?
No. But
no, that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm not saying that. But in practical fact,
yes,
the difficulties and the hoops that you have to go through to separate a person who is clearly not performing reduces productivity.
No, but not performing, if a person is not performing, it's a basis on termination.
Yes.
I would love you to tell me what the statistics are for people, particularly in the public service of Jamaica, who are terminated for non-performance.
Because the employer is not the employer's fault.
Oh.
The government, whichever government, have no way of monitoring the performance. There was a time when half of them would go to racing and one day.
So what's the net
half of them come to work late.
Absolutely.
Half of them don't come.
Right.
There's nobody there that monitors that.
So what is the answer to the two problems that we're facing? One is the precariousness which has developed about of workers and the treatment which is hardly better than it was during the indenture period after slavery. And on the other hand, it is the comportment of workers and the efficiency of regulation that is going to inure to productivity rather than simply warming bench.
Let me complete this is the point by saying, while that is happening, there are some workers who go early, stay late.
Undoubtedly.
And carry the burden.
You are telling me.
For others.
I can vouch for that.
We have to respect that.
Of course.
And recognize. But they get no extra pay for it.
No, and that is unfair. Because
Ronnie,
what you do...
The Jamaican workers are the best workers in the world.
Not uniformly, Vin.
You go to the United States
United States,
you go to Canada.
Yes. Because
you go to Canada.
Because they
you
know...
Go to farms. You go to farms in Canada.
No, I understand that. You don't have to defend that. They want more and more.
And the Mexican.
Yes, brother, but you cannot.
And they will tell you that the Jamaican workers are the best.
Yeah, but Vin Morrison, come on. Having said all of that.
In Jamaica, we do not motivate the workers enough.
Oh.
And when we talk about motivation, I'm not talking about money only.
Oh.
I know management who pass to work at the bus stop, Rain or Fall.
Yes.
And flash them up.
Yes.
Right?
So I want to know before we end this conversation.
As fair as that is, please say some workers, please say some managers.
Okay, so I want to know how we're going to fix it.
There are some workers and managers that makes production the highest in this country.
Clearly.
And at the highest standard.
Clearly. 3 minutes left for us. New York listening. What are we going to do about it? What needs to be done now?
There is a law. Hold on. Let me just quickly rush it. One of the reasons that there was that the unions came on was happening. The workers had no talk.
Yeah.
Unions came on and they used strikes and other things and get some benefits.
Yeah.
Because those workers who are not in the union, who are not getting the benefits,
Right.
we force and ask parliamentarians.
So what's going to happen now, Mr. Charles? That's
Yes.
what I want to know. The history is well known.
Yes.
The history is illustrious. You are
Yes.
part of it.
So-
But right now,
No. Parliament passed these laws.
Vin says workers are not motivated locally. Yes?
No,
So,
Vincent is telling us that the laws that Parliament passed,
I have no doubt he's right.
people come in
Yes.
and not following that. Well, that's it. You are right by saying, what the hell are the unions doing?
Yeah, and where do we go from here? Whose responsibility is it, Ben Morrison, to change the situation? Because right now it's just getting people just chups in the teeth. They take what they can get. They look for the nearest visa, or they look for some little Jim Screechy thing that they can do alongside, or underhand, legal or illegal, and the nation suffers.
Vincent and myself are going to meet by tomorrow or the
Hold
next
on.
day. And he's
Hold on,
going to
hold on.
convince me
Ronnie,
that what he's
Ronnie.
saying also.
There must be something why so much our best minds in Jamaica are leaving the shores of Jamaica.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's nurses, whether it's
You don't know,
doctors,
but we know that. So what I
That's
want to know is what we
engineers,
deal with it. How we deal with it. How do we know?
Very simply, very simply. We have to put the confidence. We have to say to them, yes, we know that patriotism cannot pay the rent or the mortgage, but we have to find a way to communicate.
Right.
Talk to them.
Yeah.
That is what we have to do.
Well, that
You have to consult.
a big responsibility lies with you.
And Parliament. Parliament has a responsibility to periodically look on what is happening in the labour market.
Parliament should have a standing committee on labour relations. It has nothing of the sort.
Well,
Parliament.
I don't know if that committee works.
It doesn't exist.
For 50 odd years, I was never invited to make an appearance before that committee.
Well, there's no. I'm telling you, it does not exist.
Mr. Ronnie Thwaites.
It should exist.
Mr. Ronnie Thwaites,
Yes.
you said to me, and more than one time since we are here, that the unions have lost their balls.
I have said so.
And I am going to say to you,
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, that the unions must get up and do their job.
Okay, got you.
Yes, they are being paid. The workers pay them pay salary,
Yes.
right?
Jews.
Actually, you have less unions today than that.
We used to.
So the workers abandon the union and gone to management.
Let me put the final charge in the 2 minutes we have left in Morrison Pearnel Charles. I listened to union leaders, not all, only those I could hear, with one exception, the gentleman on the radio with us now, and another gentleman from your shop. Yes, and virtually congratulating on the rise in the minimum wage. Yes, which of course we're grateful for. But when we look at it in constant dollar terms, from 2016 to 2022, yes, the rise in the minimum wage is 33 cents US.
Yes, I am going.
Where is the unions doing their job, as Mr. Charles says?
Why do you go to 22 US? Let us keep it in Jamaican money.
Yeah.
I am trying to tell you, listen to me very carefully.
And $7,000 could buy more
for
in
every
2016
dollar that
than
is given,
9,000 can buy now.
For every dollar that is given as a minimum wage, there is a receiver and a giver.
Yeah.
Don't believe that minimum wage can be set without we recognize who is paying it.
So when Mr. Charles says
one last minute, quick, the real people don't get minimum wage in Jamaica.
No. Understand that. So what we are saying then is our people had better resign themselves to what George Beck would call persistent poverty, because we can do better.
No, nothing no go so. Nothing no go so.
Next time when we appear on the public eye, Beau-regard, don't lose your heart. You hear? We're doing our best in Jamaica. So keep faith with us.
Well,
Definitely.
They think no pretty, but we're trying. Vin Morrison.
Say hello to everybody up there for me. We come to see you one day.
Thanks for everything, right. Vin. We'll talk again.
Okay.
More time.
Take care.
And that's it for the Public Eye and the Open Mind today on the Bridge 99. Thank you, Mr. Pearnel Charles, for your company, sir. And we look forward to the early rise on the Public Eye, if life spare, God willing, next week. Take care.